We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How did you not get this after Monday Night Raw?
Welcome to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, a show where a rotating cast of wrestling fans from around the world come and share and debate their opinions, with live comments from all of you shown throughout, as after all, fans are what makes wrestling so special. So sit back, grab a beverage, and enjoy the show.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Shad Talks Graps, and we are back with another installment of the Wrestling Republic daily broadcast. We are a couple days from Christmas. We are a week and a half away from 2025 being completely done. This year has sped by fast, and we got a lot to talk about because Monday Night Raw, well, they gave us a little bit to foreshadow. The question is, Austin Theory working for Seth Rollins? Of course, we got to talk about the Judgment Day. Maxine making Becky tap again. Javon Evans showcasing and is a free agent. This is going to be a fun episode, but I can't do this by myself, man. I have a prestige panel, and it is Tuesday, and this is someone I haven't seen for the longest time, and if he says something crazy, I swear I will mute him. Just giving you a little heads up, Jordy in the bank. How are you, bro?
I would not dare say anything out of line. No, mate, I'm good. It's good to have you back on a Tuesday. I wasn't here last Tuesday, so it's good to have me back on a Tuesday. But no, it's good. Raw was decent. I definitely think when you compare it to obviously the tape SmackDown we got, I think the Raw was better in comparison. So I'm excited to talk about it. Yeah, a few good talking points here.
Yes, sir. And yes, it was better than the SmackDown, but that's not saying entirely too much. Last but not least, man, we got someone that is new to the Wrestling Republic channel, but yo, this guy is so knowledgeable about pro wrestling, and this is a debut. I get to do a show with him, so I got to pass it off to my dude, Lawrence. How are you doing, bro?
Man, I'm super excited. Excited to be here with Wrestling Republic again. Last week was my first opportunity to be on a show. Excited to be here again, man. I was here on Tuesday last week, so I love Monday Night Raw. It's the flagship show for a reason, so I can't wait to break this thing down. We had an exciting Raw last night, and I'm excited to talk about my guy, A-Town Down, Austin Theory.
That's right, man. We'll get to that topic soon, but I hope that he gets to keep his song because I that's one of the few Def Rebel tracks that I'm okay with. But we got to start off with the Judgment Day because I feel like we have been talking about the Judgment Day for quite a while here on Tuesday. If y'all don't remember, me and Jordy had this ongoing dispute about Liv and Rhea Ripley fighting for Dominic Mysterio. Well, Liv is back, and she has kind of become friends with a Miss Roxanne Perez. Roxanne had a match last night with Bayley, and she took a loss, and a lot of that loss is because Lyra Valkyria is a good head coach and smacked some sense into her, but also Raquel Rodriguez was not in sync and kind of ruined it for Roxanne. After the match, there's a little bit of animosity between these three ladies. Roxanne is telling Raquel, what are you doing? Why did you mess it up for me? Liv is trying to calm it down, try to say, yo, I had her back. And Raquel just says, I got to focus about my title match next week. I ain't worried about y'all. I'm curious to see what the direction is with this because does this kind of pivot back to both of them turning on Liv? Does Liv and Roxanne become a unit and Raquel goes dolo, or do they all just make up like one family makes up? It is Christmas, so hopefully they do, kind of settle the score before Thursday. But I want to tip the question to y'all first. What did y'all think about the match in the segment yesterday, and what do you kind of think the direction is going to be with it? I'm going to start with you first, Jordy.
I think it's a bit of a tricky one, mate. I think, is it too obvious for us to kind of get a Raquel and Liv feud down the line? I've been wondering for the longest time, hoping, just kind of I just want it. I want to see Liv and Dom branch off from the Judgment Day. I think the Judgment Day will carry on, and I think that Raquel and Roxanne also have good chemistry. So I wouldn't be opposed to them having some more time within the tag picture. Let Liv go back into the world title picture with Dom by her side, but obviously to get to that point, there's scraps. We need to, you know what I mean? Something needs to come to blows. This is the tricky thing with the Judgment Day, though, Shad. Like, you're right. That was however long ago. I want to say SummerSlam 24 that we were doing that. We're still talking about the Judgment Day. So they do this thing where they look like they're on the brink of breaking up, and then they somehow win a load of titles and they come back together. So I never know with Judgment Day anymore. I honestly don't know. You're absolutely right. It could be happy families. They could all get together for Christmas, all bond over some turkey, and then they'd be right as rain again next week. So this is the thing with the Judgment Day, and whether it's intentional or not at this point, I can't predict the booking of it. So I would like to see Raquel and Liv have a solid feud. I think that obviously we've seen them have a couple of tag runs. They were very close prior to Liv going. We want to know what Raquel's kind of motive is, because like she messed up the match last night. You know what I mean? Like, it looked pretty intentional to me. So what's the motive behind that? Why is she so mad at Liv? Because like Liv got injured, you know, like it's not her fault. So I'm intrigued. I've got questions, which is never really a bad thing, right?
No, it is never a bad thing. And honestly, it's one of those things where I feel like they are trying to, throw us in a direction where it may eventually be something else. I mean, I'll say this: Liv and Liv and Roxanne, like the last 2 weeks, like Liv coming out with her, they feel like a money pairing together. Like they come out with a lot of presence. Two lovely ladies, and it feels like a good cohesive unit. Where with Raquel, I feel like we've kind of paired her in the instant tag role just because she's been doing that from square one, from her NXT days to now, because she is just the heavy. She is the taller comparisons to Kevin Nash, who she trains with and whatnot in her lifetime. Like, it's kind of like they want her to be the Diesel to finding the Shawn Michaels. And does this possibly make I wouldn't be mad at a pivot though if it allowed Raquel to kind of just do her own thing and let Liv and Roxanne be apparent. I mean, it could be something completely out of left field that no one expected. But I mean, Lawrence, I want to throw the question to you, and then we can all talk about it together. What do you think? I mean, do you think there is one out of those two directions? What do you think may happen? And what is your thought about the match last night too?
Yeah, my thoughts on the match last night. I thought it was a decent match. Obviously, we know that this was more so during the holiday week. So, you're keeping Raw to even a minimum. One of the things that I would say is with Raquel, I'm very impressed with Raquel's ring presence. I also think that Raquel's been the MVP of the Judgment Day this year, right? Because when Liv went out, she really had to hold things down. Dominic's played his role, but bringing up a Roxanne Perez, Pop Rocks, I love when I see that, Pop Rocks, from NXT, and you take a look at Raquel's mentorship that she's provided Roxanne. Roxanne caught on quick, but I think sometimes maybe people do forget how much Raquel was there to guide her. I would agree. I would say I would like to see Liv and Roxanne personally go for the tag titles, and I would like to see Stephanie Valkyrie. I wouldn't be mad if she dropped the title to Raquel with a bit of insistence. And the reason why is because I think that could help elevate Raquel. And then it sets up the backstabbing. What do I mean by that? Because now if that title comes home to Liv, I don't really see Raquel wanting to stab Liv in the back. But if the title comes back home to Raquel, we all know that Roxanne, she wants, to be the champion, right? You come from NXT and all the work that she did down there, holding the NXT championship, women's championship like she did, you want a shot at the world title. You want to be world champion. And I think that sets it up perfectly. And the last thing that I'll say as far as the Judgment Day, you notice one missing equation that we haven't really discussed so far today is the fellas. Unfortunately, JD McDonough had to undergo surgery, so we wish him the best and hope that he gets back right. Of course, Carlito was released. We understand, that was quick. He was gone, no mention of it. And then we have my guy, one of my favorites is Finn Balor. He's left to stuck with kind of, okay, what do I do next? Because now it's just me, and I do have Dominic Mysterio, but Dominic Mysterio has the things that he's focusing on. So I think the breaking up of the Judgment Day, the injuries have kind of derailed them. And so you already see them as a group that's a bit dysfunctional. But at any given point in time, they could put their hats right in, because I got, Rhea Ripley and as well Io Sky winning those tag titles. And I think their first challengers are going to be Liv Morgan and as well Roxanne Perez. So those are my thoughts.
Man, I love the point that you brought up about the women kind of being the ones that are steering the ship for the Judgment Day compared to the guys. And like, that's kind of been the existence of it too, because Dominic, as over as he is, the thing that's kind of put him over into the edge is the fact that, oh, he's got the pairing with Rhea Ripley. No, he's got the pairing with Liv Morgan. But now this is like so different because, like, to y'all's point, he's not even in the storyline right now in this whole situation. It's just the three ladies kind of going for what they're doing. There's no guy in it, there's no romance novel to it. It's legitimately a genuine story between three wrestlers on the squad. And Raquel, man, I agree with you on that too. Like, she is without a doubt one of the most like underrated people on the roster when it comes to it. You got to give her credit too, going through all the adversity that she's been through, dealing with the medical stuff and coming back stronger than ever, man. Like, I mean, she's definitely done a lot. And man, I can't lie, I'm interested to see what comes on with all of this, because as much as I would love to see Dom and Liv, we saw that moment happen at Survivor Series, but it makes good storylines for the women's division too when you have her tied to this. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this progresses. I do want to read a couple comments, and we got our homie Fernando Zaya saying, Merry Christmas Eve to us at the Wrestling Republic. He also says that he enjoyed Raw. He said it was fire last night. Speaking of Wrestling Republic, we got the dog Davis in the building. My guys, he also agrees on the Raquel Rodriguez statement. And Leclaire says Liv Morgan and Roxanne are going to turn on Liv and Roxanne Perez are going to turn on Raquel Rodriguez. So man, I'm kind of hoping that's what happens now. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel a lot of it. My initial thought was like, okay, Liv is going to break off, and this is going to happen, and we're going to have the Judgment Day. But I don't know, man. It's something that kind of clicked when I saw them two walking out together. Like, the presence and all of it feels good. And Liv is a very good heel.
Exactly. Yeah, that was one thing I wanted to say, to cut in for a second, because Liv can take Roxanne's ear, right? That's what. Hey, I've been on the shelf. Raquel you haven't had the success. I'm back, and that's what Liv can do. You'll see those whispers, right? And that's what I predict. I predict that we're going to see Liv and as well Roxanne continue to cost, and it boils over, and they turn on her, and now she's exiled. So yep.
I agree, but my only point is, I think that one of the reasons why Raquel has done so well since her return is being a heel, and I don't know if Raquel gets over as well as a face. And I think I want to cheer Liv and Roxanne together more than I'd want to cheer Raquel. So, like, maybe there's some way where they do it where it's actually Raquel that is the heel and gets them booed. I don't know. I don't know because then you're like, what? Then the Judgment Day a face faction? That doesn't seem right. Or is it just Raquel that is pulling rank in the Judgment Day at that point, and she takes the role that Rhea left and has kind of been vacant since Rhea left? Whether they wanted to admit it or not, Rhea was running the show by the end of it. But which is why obviously Finn played some games and caused it to leave. So, man, I don't know. I could talk about this all night because there's so many different avenues you could go.
Well,
with.
I
So
want to
many
read.
different people, isn't there? So
I want to read this comment because we got friend of the show, Donnie De Silva, Huge Pop Radio. Make sure you like and subscribe to them as well. He says he loves Raquel as a character and a person, but she doesn't have the gimmick or promo ability to survive on her own, breaking off from the Judgment Day. That's I don't.
it would be a worry. I'm not gonna sit here and say that she definitely couldn't, but yeah, it would be a worry. I wouldn't worry.
She would be
if
swimming
I
in
live-
the deep end, but it would give her a chance. If that's up to WWE to pull the trigger. I do think I would agree. She would be swimming in the deep end, but that's how you find out. So
It's also a gap that I would say maybe needs filling in that women's division right now. The a space for Raquel to kind of be like you say, the kind of the heavy, the kind of big mammy cool as they call her, and just kind of produce that kind of character. Like a Gunther like character, Nia Jax, but you can't just put Nia in there all the time. So I think there's space for it. It's just whether she can do it and get it over with how crowded that division is.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I will say I feel like a lot has been added to her toolbox since she's come on to the main roster and joined the Judgment
Match with
Day.
Rhea in Saudi was unreal.
Yeah, I mean, well, her in-ring ability, I feel like, is not in question, right? We know that she's a incredible worker, especially as someone who is, like y'all mentioned, a powerhouse. But I mean, I guess I'm not gonna disagree with Donnie a lot. I won't say that she won't survive. I feel like she has the ability to survive and pick up that skill, but it is something that will be an uphill challenge for her. So we'll have to wait and see, man. Like I said, this is a very interesting storyline to continue on with them. But let's talk about another storyline because I don't know how Ben made these graphics. I'm sorry. It's like misplaced. Anyways, we got to talk about Maxine Dupree. We got to talk about Becky Lynch because Becky Lynch, the woman who never lost her Intercontinental title, she should still be champion. Everybody's against her. Blase blah. Sports Illustrated is talking about it. Ben Allison's talking about it. If you didn't see her Instagram, he said it as well. So it's the law. But she came out cutting a promo, and Maxine Dupree came out, and she showed a lot of passion on the mic. Becky disrespects her, attacks, but Maxine is not the one who has the last laugh because she makes Becky Lynch tap out with an ankle lock, channeling everything that she's learned from the Alpha Academy, from Master Chad Gable, wherever he is right now. This is interesting. I'm very curious because now we are picking back this feud up and we are kind of going to extend it. I'm super curious to see what comes upon this because is Becky going to get the title back or is Becky going to put her over at this point where Maxine gets a nice clean victory over her? It's going to be interesting. I do like the character evolution of Maxine because I feel like we're starting to wipe off the comedy dirt from her a little bit. And we're, having her in these vignettes where she's getting trained by Natty. She's showing a little bit more grit. And I always thought she's had incredible stage presence when it comes to a character, right? Like she knows all of that stuff, but now she's really tapping in on this. Well, I can actually wrestle too. But Jordy, I know you are a big Maxine Dupree fan. So I want to know your thoughts. Her making Becky Lynch tap out and everything going on with this storyline.
I couldn't be happier. Like from a personal fan level. Like I remember it wasn't that long ago that I was saying on this show that she just had something, and I was excited to see where we go. And Donnie said her first match on Raw was first match ever in front of fans. Like it's crazy. It's crazy when we look at like the progress that she's made and where she is now. And I believe it as well. This is not the way that she delivered the promo yesterday. It was full of passion, but it didn't feel fake. It didn't feel over the top. I fully believe it because of the vignettes, because of what we've been seeing, because of screaming another and just tapping people out. And to see her do that to Becky, just kind of, it looked like almost effortless. You know what I mean? It was just like, yeah, Becky was another. But the feud worries me. because I don't want Maxine to drop the title. And I mean, I'd forgot. I'm glad Maxine brought it up. I'd forgot that she'd beat Becky 3 times. Is it gonna happen a 4th? Like, is that where we're headed? Because it's crazy if it is. There is an argument that if Becky cheated away to get that title off Maxine, that would put her over because then the fans would be like really invested, angry, and want her to get it back because we're all so behind her and we feel like she won it unfairly. Could it be something like a Natty comes down and costs her it? Because I need to see that feud before we're done with this title run. I think personally, I just think she's not even stumbled. She's just walked into this division, this mid card division, and absolutely credit to Becky as well. By the way, I should have said that right at the start. Absolutely credit to Becky for helping make another star, helping build someone up, and helping do this again. Like we saw it when she went and did the run on NXT. Obviously, she put Lyra over in an incredible way. She put Tiffy over in an incredible way. Like she is one of the greatest to ever do it. When you look at, she just always can put on a banger with these people. Even whether it is a up and comer or whether it's somebody like when she ran a feud with Trish and Tiff throw me off. When she ran a feud with Trish not too long ago and they had that unreal steel cage match. So absolutely credit to Becky. But yeah, I'm not done. I think this mid card title scene in the women's division, Maxine has slotted perfectly into it in a void where we were a bit lost. Let's be honest. Like the booking of these titles hasn't been great. And now, and again, huge credit to Becky. I'm very, very much invested in this title scene. So credit to that.
Yes, and look, man, you have to give all parties credit, like you mentioned. There's a couple comments I want to read on here to that because Fernando Zayas is saying that Becky Lynch lost the title fair and square. Fernando, that woman that doesn't ever show up to work helped her lose that title. Miss AJ Lee, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't forget about that. But it was a big moment for Maxine, like you mentioned, and then like Donnie was saying, like if you haven't already, huge pop. Please check out the interview. Maxine said on the show her first match on Raw was her first match ever in front of fans. So she has come so far, and Becky is elevating her big time. No pun intended to her name. But Mackenzie is saying Becky should win back the IC title until AJ Lee comes back. Where Donnie, we're having a little bit of discourse between people in the chat saying Becky Trump is such a strong character and absolutely does not need a title. That's where I do have an agreement for it. It's their roster is so stacked right now on Raw, more importantly, where like Becky is so good at generating storylines and heat and with people where she doesn't necessarily need to have a title to do it. I think she did a great job elevating that belt and making that belt feel like something. But like to Donnie's point, it is Maxine's time. You mentioned Natty Neidhart. We'll see if she comes out. It's gonna be interesting to see what comes with that because Natty, if she comes out with that new character, it does need to happen at some point where Maxine holds the title for a little bit because I feel like if you introduce this new part of Natty, she needs to kind of get the belt off of her. But we'll see. We'll see. That's the beauty of pro wrestling. Let's get to the next topic because I'm excited about this one, man. Javon Evans has been just going out on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AAA, Saturday night's main event. It doesn't matter. If it's a WWE adjacent show, TNA, he's going out there and giving you instant classic after classic after classic. Last night, he went out and had a strong showing against one of Grande Americano's European friends that's dressed up in a lucha mask. I don't know which one it is. I don't think it was Tyler
Ryo.
Bate. I know his name is Ryo, but is that Tyler Bate apparently, right? Or
Ryo,
allegedly?
bro. I don't know what you're talking
That's
about.
Ryo. My bad, Jordy. You're right. That is Ryo. That is not. But he had a match with him. Javon comes out with a win, and they note that he is a free agent, not a free agent to the world of pro wrestling. So people don't, let's not try to fantasy book him to show up on All In just yet. But he's a free agent in the WWE where Raw or SmackDown are looking to covet him and bringing him on to the show. Javon is super talented. Javon is very young. Some people think Mark Henry said he could wait 15 years before he wins a title. But it kind of seems like WWE sees a little bit in him where they want him on that main roster a little sooner than that. And he could get gold a lot sooner than that. But I want to ask you, Lawrence, what are your thoughts on the potential of Javon Evans coming on to the main roster? Are you for it? Or do you think he should stay on NXT for a little bit longer?
I'm for Javon Evans coming to the main roster right now. And the reason why I'm for him coming to the main roster is because I think if you keep him in NXT, I think it's fine that he never wins the NXT title. I think it's fine to pluck him and bring him to the flagship show, which is Monday Night Raw. And I think that's the right decision. And I think Obafemi should actually go ahead and go to SmackDown. And I don't want to do any spoilers. We understand that there's some spoilers out there, but make sure you guys tap in with us on Saturday because we'll break down what took place on SmackDown because we had somebody else come up. So for me, the young OG belongs on Monday nights, high flying, jumping off top of the rope, doing all of those things, because I would love to see him in the ring with a Braun Breaker. I would love to see him in the ring with an A-Town, downtown Austin Theory. I would love to see him in a ring with a Seth Rollins when he makes his return. I would love to see him in a ring with a main event Jey Uso, with a Jimmy Uso. And I would love to see him in a ring with maybe even potentially one day your tribal chief truly, OTC Roman Reigns. And so I look at that. The reason why is Javon, he's impressed me with his ring presence, but the crowd. The biggest reason why Jey Uso got the push he got was because of the crowd reactions. Now he's undeniable. And the thing about it is when you become undeniable like Javon Evans is, the young OG, you can skip past Ricky Starks, and Ricky Starks can stay down there on NXT. Young OG to the main roster. Let's get it.
I like it, man. And Javon Evans is someone that I got to cover from the beginning of when he came onto NXT on Off the Air with Drizzy and Clark. And it's something that you just said that I can agree with wholeheartedly. It's that connection with the fans. I was there live at Saturday night's main event. The crowd loved him. He has a Jeff Hardy appeal to him where he's just so damn fun. You don't need him to go out and cut live promos. He just has a presence about him. But I do think that this is the thing. He's so young, but he feels so like relatable to a young generation of people out there. And that's somebody you want to try to covet fans of the youth and have young fans want to be inspired to be from 21 below to their like teenagers, kids and whatnot. Man, like you love seeing young wrestlers just go out and show out. And he's someone that I think like his in-ring ability is so far ahead of people even older than him. I think, yeah, I agree. I feel like he can get on to the main roster. And this is a comment that I like a lot from Donnie, where he says, as soon as Javon goes to the main roster, he's not going to be working AAA or TNA. He has improved so much in the last 3 months with more matches, makes GMs chase him for a while and longer. And then he also said, this is what I like a lot. He says, I love brands fighting Javon as a free agent. Happily, rest in peace to the draft. Look, man, the brand split in the draft has felt so unimportant in the last few years. But if this is a way to kind of get people called up where they are allowed to hit like a transfer portal a little bit, right? And you allow them to kind of fight for it, that'd be cool. I mean, what are y'all thoughts on that because we got a lot of NXT people coming up. Like, what are y'all thoughts on the process of them, as free agents kind of showing out and then they kind of have the choice of going between Raw or SmackDown?
I like the idea of it, man. I like the idea of creating any friction we can between Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce because I think they're great together on screen. I think they're both doing great jobs as GMs. I think they could sell it well, which is important. So yeah, I'm all for it. I love the draft. but I love it when it's done right, and it just hasn't been for the longest time. Like, I'd love for us to, for the next game, to be a SmackDown versus Raw game and to go all in on it, but it's not going to happen. So if you're going to do it right. We're not going to, because of TV money and stuff like that. So I just think, just come up with
Yeah, that's the kind of the hard part with the brands, and then especially when you do the crossover pay-per-view events.
Yeah.
So you do the King of the Ring, and then now Cody has to show up on Raw, and then vice versa. So it's tough. I will say that I like the idea because it makes it make sense. Like, from the perspective of when Oba comes up, why should he just immediately go to SmackDown? And they've done this before. You remember with Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill was chauffeured around. She was fly, dressed very beautiful and elegant, and you were actually taking her around, and it was like she was the show. And where is she going to sign? So I think you can do the same thing with Javon and the same thing with Oba. For the ones that make sense, it has to make sense. You just bringing up anybody else, you don't know, right? But you bringing up the big time, you know what I'm saying? Now, let's entice. But I'm very, very, very excited for 2026. I think Javon is ready to go. I don't think you want to not do it and never say never. And we'll use this, from back in the past. Randy Orton was the youngest world champion, for a reason. Austin Theory got the push, right? Because Austin Theory is in my age bracket, right? I'm 26. A-Town Down, it may have not went to the best. I know there's been a lot of debates over the things that have been done in the beginning when Austin Theory got pushed, right? And even now, there's a lot of question marks with Theory, right? But I think that Javon, you have to pull the trigger. Give him a shot. He just went in with the Ring General, Gunther, right? He went there right there, toe-to-toe with him, and he could sell it. And go, you know what I'm saying? So he showed you already he's ready. Now, you don't want to bring him to the main roster and have him just playing around. You need to bring him to the main roster and have him be amazing. Don't have him fighting. He's fighting these guys in masks right now just to make sure, hey, that's your test run. But when we put you in there with an A-Town Down, you better be ready. And I don't think Javon immediately needs to go over on the main roster, but definitely he belongs. He could work with guys like Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods easily.
True.
I think as well there's a beauty in, just to touch on something you'd said before, Lawrence, the skip the NXT title. And I think there's a beauty in that, because if listen, this guy is going to make it on the main roster and it's going to happen fast, I think. In a situation where it doesn't go as swimmingly as, because we all thought this about Melo, right? We thought he'd be in the same position that Breaker's in, essentially, when he jumped onto the main roster, but it didn't kind of go as well as we thought. And in that situation, you've got, in case of emergency break glass, you send him back to NXT, and the storyline is he's going to pick up that title that he didn't pick up, and it's like so it's kind of a win-win if you make him skip it at this point, and I think he's ready to. I think the fans want him to, so I completely agree. I think just throw him in the deep end, and I think he'll swim. Not everyone does, but I think he will.
For sure. And on that point, though, you did mention A-Town Down. Let's talk about him a little bit more, because he made his second debut from what we've seen last, right? And he is auditioning to be part of the Vision. I really liked everything tied with the Theory last night. I love the backstage segment between him and Paul Heyman, basically telling him that I see the vision of what you're doing. I want to take part of this. It felt like he is as motivated as anything in regards to his career. And to me, that felt super authentic to what he probably feels inside, because like you mentioned, this is a guy who has kind of went through the biggest roller coaster ride in his career in WWE, getting caught up onto the main roster during the pandemic, going back to NXT, being part of the way, getting caught up again, being someone that Vince McMahon and that regime had a big, push for, and doing a lot of silly gimmicks, but also being U.S. champ, to kind of going down the card and down the pecking order when Triple H came through. Well, now he's back at a little bit more important, and they got a win last night in a tag team match. Him and Bronson Reed. I loved him telling Bronson Reed, basically, no, you're going to do it my way, right? You're going to follow my lead, and we're going to get this win. And
the match went down like that too, it felt.
And it happened. I like it, man. And the question is, a lot of people even said online, ring gear very reminiscent to early Seth Rollins. He's got the curb stomp too. I want to give y'all a twofold question. First, thoughts on Theory last night, the match, all of that, this new repackage, but also, do you think he is joining Seth Rollins, and is he potentially a mole in the vision? Lawrence, I know you were ready to talk about this because this is your guy from the A. I'm gonna kick it off to you first.
I'm a visionary, a revolutionary. My name is what? Seth Rollins. And if you know anything about Seth, you know that Seth always has a plan. And so to me, it's no secret that he's showing you every week who he worked for. He came in, he had the mask on at Survivor Series. He hopped in, did a curb stomp. He came back in. They might have switched up the person, right? Might have been Ford underneath there just to keep us on edge, but a curb stomp was delivered on top of the table. Then he was obviously shown to be the masked man. But then he had to tell Bronson Reed last night, listen, big homie, I'm the guy. You know what I'm saying? He ain't have to read his resume, but I'll do it for him. Defeated John Cena at WrestleMania. Last person to do so. See, Gunther might have made John Cena tap out, but he was the last one to beat him on a big stage. He was also the guy that we saw feuding with Seth Rollins and a Bobby Lashley. Shout out to Bobby. And he took that United States Championship. So I think people sometimes forget how good Austin Theory can be. Now, my prediction, or should I say spoiler, is this, right? Because I think for the most part, most people don't see Braun Breaker walking out with that title when we come to Brooklyn, just the first Raw of the year. It doesn't usually go that easy, especially with it being CM Punk's first title defense. So a couple things can happen. What if Seth Rollins reappears in Brooklyn on Monday Night Raw and curb stomps delivered to Braun Breaker and says, you ain't winning that fast? Something to think about there, because I don't know if Theory's all the way bought in. And it seems to be that there's something else working. And maybe Seth, we've seen before, hey, I'm going to be out for 6 months, and he comes back way sooner. I wouldn't be surprised. Watch Seth Rollins' social media account and what he's doing in his workouts over the next 15 to 20 days. Just get prepared. Just watch, well, sooner than that. Just watch that account really within the next 5 to 10 days. And all I'm going to say is Seth Rollins, I think, will be back sooner, and it'll be him and Austin Theory versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. That's just my thoughts. And CM Punk is going to have a date with the Ring General, Gunther.
I like it. I like it. Obviously, Punk did have that little interaction with Gunther yesterday, too. I would not hate that at all. Also, Seth, I know we would talk about this injury, but to your point, I didn't see him. I feel like I watch him on my morning sports broadcast every single day this NFL season. He's at Bears games, but man, see, this is the thing. This has been an ongoing discussion about Theory. Obviously, Ben feels very, very strong about him as a professional wrestler and his potential, what he could be. Others, like the homie Anthony, doesn't think as much as that. And they've gone back and forth on the topic. But to me, I will say this is a step in the very right direction for him. This kind of also, like I was mentioning with Maxine, this wipes out all that dirt that he's had on him from the silly booking, holding the egg, all of that. Where we are now. So, Jordy, I want to know your thoughts, man. What do you feel is Austin Theory's purpose right now? Do you think he's aligned to Seth? And also, what did you think about his re-debut with this repackage last night as well?
I think if I was booking it genuinely, I think this is ideal, right? We're questioning it. And I think leave it that way a little bit. I think let it play out. We don't have to have the definite right now. We'll just see what the crowd kind of say, and we'll go with the swing of it. And if it makes sense a few weeks down the line that he is working for Seth, and we can kind of think of a great outcome from that, then we'll go with that. If not, we'll make it that Theory is just on a resurgence and he does buy into the vision and what they're doing, and the Seth stuff is just to either make us think it or to poke fun at Seth. So So yeah, I don't know, but I'm happy. I'm happy with the way Theory looks. I'm happy with the way he wrestled. I'm happy with the way that he's holding himself, like you guys both said that moment with Bronson Reed. I'm glad you both said that because I thought that was a very telling moment as well. I was like, I'm a huge fan of this. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't Bronson's audition, was it? Like I'd be saying the same if I was Theory. I'd be like, all right, look, like I'm the main event on this one. You need to just back down and like I'll tag you when I need you because like it's me that needs to prove something right now. And listen, like you said, the funny booking. It goes. There was a bit of redemption last night because back in 2023 at Money in the Bank. No, it was the night before. It was a SmackDown before. One of the dark matches was Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory, and Rey got all the fans chanting at Theory, all kind of names. So to see him get the dub last night and kind of, I saw it as a little bit of redemption as well for him there. I just hope they do it right because I don't know how much you can come back from if you can come back from if this doesn't go well. I do think that there's a very bright future for him. I do. I have to admit it. I think he's a very good wrestler. I don't think there's that many people that sell better than he does. And I think to have that much experience, whether it's bad, whether it's good, having that much experience at the age that he is, I think is an invaluable thing. I think if you'd have asked me when Cody was being Stardust, if I thought he was going to be the QB1 character that he is right now, years down the line, I'd have said, no, all right, mate, what are you smoking? But here we are. So pro wrestling is a very funny thing. Bad booking creates people that then feel sorry for them and you get invested in them. And I think that's where we are with Theory. I'm invested because of bad booking and I want him to do well because I believe in the talent.
No doubt, man. And man, it's going to be a nice journey to see what he kind of develops and sees where his career goes to. And yeah, like y'all mentioned, man, like him not backing down to like someone big as Bronson Reed. I feel like that made you be like, oh, he's serious. Like he wasn't about to let Bronson Reed little boy him at all, no matter how bigger than he is than him. And I think that's a level of like we need that type of seriousness from him. Obviously, he went clean shave, military cut and whatnot. But it's gonna be cool, man. I'm excited for it. Raw has a good synergy out of all the WWE shows when you talk about the established stars, but a lot of up and coming stars kind of being in the fold. And it's that first Raw in 2026 is going to be must watch. Like you mentioned,
realize, bro, he's like 09 Randy. That's what he's like. He's just going around.
Okay, all right. Oh, let's
yeah, no, but in the sense of like this,
don't Ben Allison me now.
Nah, we're talking about serious though, right? And yeah. I'm just mean how he's stomping people, and I know it's connected to Seth, but there's certain moves in wrestling that I like.
Oh, not Randy want that to happen to me on Earth, bro.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's see. He's shaved his head. And he's standing on people's heads.
09 Randy had a championship, by the way, too.
Hey, we'll get there.
That's true, man. But that is all the time we have today. Thank you to everybody in the comments. Keep commenting on the videos. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back tonight. NXT off the air right after NXT is done. And then tomorrow we'll be back with a super duper fun episode of Wrestling Republic. The holiday show, Christmas Eve. You are going to see a big panel of podcasters, have fun, play some games. It's going to be a great one. You don't want to miss that. Remember, Thursday, we will not be live. It is Christmas. So if you ain't celebrating with your family, just watch our library of videos instead. You know what I'm saying? Do that instead of hanging out with your family. You know what I'm saying?
Get all the family together and then
by the way,
the holiday
and then I guess a shameless plug since he's afraid to come on the daily on Tuesdays all of a sudden nowadays. Yeah. Chaos is here saying Take It to the Table is out tomorrow too. So make sure to watch that. I don't even know what episode.
I think I was on it. I think if it's the one I was on, I had an argument with
Yeah, we don't need Jordy to come plug himself on that, so we're gonna mute
Now
him.
listen, I called Ben mental. I don't think you've ever seen me lose my head. He said that the WrestleMania main event with Cody was the rock bottom of John Cena's farewell tour. And I said, no, it wasn't. It was Brock Lesnar. It was the rock bottom of his farewell tour.
Ooh.
But anyway, yeah, so there's an argument about that.
Okay, I need to watch that because that's a tough one. But yeah, he mentioned they are ranking all of John Cena's retirement matches. So that is definitely gonna be a fun one. As you can he says Jordy was super triggered.
See? Told you.
You know, gosh, only
My
if
mic
you were,
started
I wish
messing
you flew to DC for that last match, man. I wish you were there next to me and Davis on that last match to see what your reaction was. But that's all the time we got today, man. Thank you all again. And we'll catch y'all next time. In the words of Ben Allison, peace.